So who's gonna start?
Okay. I mean, the first thing we should talk about is Kourtney Kardashian and her engagement.
It looks really cute. I saw photos. I didn't see the new ones she posted, but the ones that were first posted on Instagram, they just look really adorable, so cute and so loving with all the roses.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked really romantic. It looked really nice. Those are the ones I saw too. I didn't see the new ones. I didn't see the new ones yet, but I don't know. It looked really romantic. I was like, oh, but Kourtney, I was like, she did like a host shift when she went with Travis Barker.
Right?
But I feel like they're
Yeah.
like perfect for each other. They
Right.
look great.
I
They look
heard
great.
he changed. I heard he covered up. Excuse me. I heard he covered up his old tattoo of his old woman to put Courtney's name in place of his old woman. And I don't know where it was. I
Oh,
think they said it was his lip. And I'm like, whoa, a lip
His
tattoo?
lip.
right.
Yes. I'm like, wow. Well, he's covered
Interesting.
in tats, so for him it was probably
Yeah.
nothing. But I wonder where
Right.
she put her tattoo
Um,
of
pardon the
him.
interruption is for, with Scott. I know you're saying it's like a complete 180 for Courtney, which I agree, at least like from what we looked at or have seen with Scott versus what we know of Travis Barker. But I wonder from Scott's perspective, since we always know from the show, he always wanted to get back with Courtney and always had high interest in her. So now that she's actually really engaged, I wonder like how it feels from his perspective.
Right, to see like, because I'm pretty sure from the show he's like you said wanted to be back with her, and she just
Right.
wasn't going for it. But she's always like she knows what she wants, so she's like no. So I was like, when she got with him, I was like Travis, I was just like, yeah, it's opposites, but it works because I don't know. I feel like
See,
Kourtney,
about
she's
Travis,
hilarious. I love Kourtney.
yeah. I was gonna
She's
say,
not my favorite. She's not my
no.
favorite
Most
at all.
definitely.
I think she's the flower in the background. That's how I feel about Courtney. I
She
my
does.
favorite, let me see. I think I like Kim. I like Kim because she's the extra one. The rest of them, to me, they're just flowers in the garden. Kim is the star of the show, and that's that.
Yeah, most
Definitely.
definitely, definitely.
Absolutely.
Right.
But Courtney, I don't feel like I know a lot about her. I think that's what it is. It's like the storylines don't seem to focus on her. She's just part of the storyline. So I'd like to get to know more about her because she's kind of the oddball in the family if you think about it. Like think
Yeah,
about who her family members date
True.
right.
and how she's a different one. Like everybody in her family, they tend to date someone that's black for some reason. I mean, that I guess that's their preference. But she's the only one that has stuck by her own personal preference, which actually I applaud her for that. And I think that's
Yes,
pretty awesome that, she's like, look, I like white guys, I just do. And
I
she
just
sticks
do.
by it. And I'm like, that's hey, it is what it is. I don't know much about this guy, Travis. Can you guys tell me some more about this guy, Travis? I heard he used
I
to
don't
date
know too
someone
much
else.
either. I don't really, I only know, I've only like recently seen and heard of him really once they came out together, Kourtney and him. Because I like
Right.
I love Kourtney. Like on the show, and she's like my favorite, like I said. She just does her own thing. I feel like from all the other sisters, they try not try too hard to be something else, but they do go more so of like social media, like, oh, I need this body, I need this look, I need this, and she's just been herself, no, like the entire
Right.
time. That's what
That's
I do
true.
like
That's
about
true. I wish they would focus more on
her.
her, though, to kind of tell more of her story. And I'd like to hear her voice more, just kind of hear her, with her thoughts and her feelings, because they tend to focus on the other sisters and, more
Hmm.
of who they are, etc. But they never let Courtney shine. And I'd like to see her shine. And I want to see who she really is
Right,
also.
right. I agree.
So moving on or forward, how do y'all watch Real Housewives of Atlanta?
I don't. I've seen bits and pieces here and there, but I'm not a real big fan of that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I haven't. No, I don't really watch that show. But I
But
mean, I follow little things with like the cast on like Instagram and whenever it pops up and stuff. But no, not necessarily. I don't really watch the show. No.
I've actually
no.
been watch it either, but I just needed a new show that I could watch all the time. And with them having 13 seasons out, all 12 are currently on Hulu. And so I was like, let's catch up. And now
Binge.
fun are like, I guess ironic to hear all the about like the new cast, the new individuals coming through, the original. So it's gonna be a wild ride, I suspect.
Yes.
New upcoming.
Yes.
Did the new season start already? Because the one thing I did hear is that Marlo finally got a peach. Is that correct? Is that the right show that I'm referring to?
To be on the full set cast, no longer just a friend side role. So that'll be interesting because she's always been present on pretty much every season, just as a friend side role. It'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see.
Well, maybe I'll
Is
catch
Nene
that
Leakes
season.
still? Is Nene
No.
still on the show as well?
She's not going to be in this
No.
14th season, unfortunately. It's going to be even Cynthia Bailey and Portia Williams have left as well. But with the new incomers, they're not necessarily new incomers since they were friends side roles, but with them becoming the main cast, it'll be interesting to see where the new storylines lie. I'm currently on season 12, so we'll have to watch season 13 to catch up, but
Yeah.
look forward to it.
Yeah, that'll be
How many
exciting, especially just
seasons?
because you saw them.
Is
And
this
they're
the most recent season?
14.
They're currently going to be on their
Yeah.
fourth season.
Oh, I see. Maybe I'll tune in so we can have conversation about this show because
Right?
I
I'm
have
like,
no idea.
maybe I'll check it out.
Absolutely, because I do follow Candy Burris. I just saw her today, as a matter of fact. She was on the new show that Nick Cannon has. He has a show called Nick. And
Yeah.
Candy was on there promoting all of her different things that she's doing. And she's part of a new, I don't know whether she's a writer or director of a new show that's on Broadway. And it's, I forgot the name of it, but it's about Black men and the Black experience as a Black man. And so she's
Oh.
part of this new project that's out. And it's on Broadway, and I really want to see it. And I'm so sad that I don't remember the name of it right now. I just posted it earlier today. But it's really, really, it looks good. I actually checked out a clip of it, and it looks phenomenal. And I'm hoping one day I can be on Broadway, you guys. I'm an
Oh.
actress and I'm a model, but I'm a up and coming actress. I'm working on it. So hopefully one day I can make it to that level. I'm definitely working on it, but I would love to be on Broadway, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure just yet.
I don't know. You'll get there. You gotta manifest it. You're gonna do it all.
Have you ever seen
I
any-
hope so.
have you ever seen
Oh, go
any-
ahead.
Say that one more time.
Have you ever seen any shows on Broadway?
I have never been to Broadway ever. I've been to New York, never made it to Broadway. For some reason, when I've been to New York, it's been on other business, like family business, etc. But it's never been to have fun. So actually, that's my dream. Maybe we should take a trip to New York so we can go to Broadway, because I would love to. I think I would like to see. I'd like to see The Lion King, which I know it probably is not even on Broadway anymore, but I'd like to see any show on Broadway. I've always wanted to go. And so with the pandemic, it kind of stopped everything. But one of these days, I'm going to Broadway and check it out, because it's a dream for me. Growing up, I wanted to be Annie. And and I was told that I could not be Annie because little brown girls cannot be Annie. That was my mother that told me that. And then when I grew up, I saw a brown Annie, and I'm like, see, Mom? And she was like, I was giving you the reality of the time. So it's okay. It broke my little heart, but it inspired me to get into entertainment, which I did by sheer accident. So.
Oh, it still turned out great. Great.
Definitely. That's how you mention now today that we're seeing a little brown Annie. I was just watching a show on Disney Plus with my mom, and I was expressing how seeing a Black family that looks like me with their child be like a happy family, it just did something to the inner child on the inside of me. And I was like, it just feels so nice. And this is why representation really is so valuable and important, for reasons like you said, wanting to grow up and be that actress or that singer musician. So with you being on Broadway, I have a question for you, Alicia. Do you also sing as well with, wanting to be on Annie?
I do. I do. I grew up singing in church, and I definitely won't say I'm a Patti LaBelle or Mariah Carey. I can hold a tune. But yeah, I grew up in church singing, Baptist church, of course.
Okay.
And I love to sing. I just, with me, I would like to work on my voice because I definitely, I'm a singing in the shower and I sing while I'm driving. But I'm definitely not ready for the Broadway stage with the voice just yet. But we will work on that also soon.
What about
Hopefully.
Awesome. So we got a comment here from Dooley W. Hey, where are the drinks?
Where are the drinks?
Okay.
I could go get one. My kitchen is right off here to my right.
Not
so
gonna
I could go
lie,
get one
I
for
actually
everybody.
do have a little bit of a drink,
Hey.
but I didn't know if I should be on camera drinking.
Absolutely. Well, actually, we should start making this. This is a happy hour, so it should also be cocktail hour. But I with
It
me, I'll
should
have a little water or juice. But definitely, I don't know about anything else. Definitely.
Like,
I have a question for you guys. I have a topic. I don't know if you guys decided on what topics you wanted to talk about. And again, you guys, sorry I popped in late. I was having technical difficulties, but I figured it out. I just kind of had to go with whatever I could find. But anyway, my question is, what do you think about this whole R. Kelly situation? I mean, he was convicted recently on all charges, but he has cases that are coming up in Chicago and in another state as well. But how do you guys feel about the verdict and the following cases that are coming up?
So he was convicted. He got charged guilty.
Yes,
All
he did. All counts.
Wow.
which is good. Good. That's how I feel about it. Honestly, I haven't been following closely to the trial or anything like that going on, but from what I've seen from watching the documentary and all that, personally, I just can't. I just can't even put myself to even be in there, because I'm just like, for you to do all that, for all this to come out, and then people still defending him. Of course, people are gonna still defend him. It's just like, it all comes down to your morals. That's all. Like, as a person, who are you as a person? So I just don't agree. I don't like him. Don't like the situation. I'm glad they convicted him. So, because that whole thing just gave me the jitters. Like,
I can agree. I think it is good that he's been like rightfully convicted, so that the victims of the whole case can have peace in that regards. But I'm also really hoping that R. Kelly can find help in the matter. Mental health awareness, I think, is a big deal, especially in the Black community. So much has been done and so much abuse that I think we've all experienced, and that has been passed down through generations into DNA. That's like a whole thing. But I think as long as discussions are being raised and people are actually bringing in proper help for everybody, even people who have done wrong as well, so that they can also get treatment to get better, I think that'll also be a positive increase for him as well as for the victim. That's all I hope for.
I think, I'm in not a lot, in a few groups that are for R. Kelly. And see, I decided to go into some of these groups and be a little stealth, because I watch two different podcasts on YouTube. I watch Tracy's Point, and I also watch one called The Plainest Jane. Now, Tracy is definitely an R. Kelly fan. And then we have The Plainest Jane. She comes forward with the information, the documents, you name it. Both of them were reading the transcripts. And what I've found, that there are a lot of supporters of R. Kelly, and they feel like he should not have been convicted. The girls were lying. They set him up and all of these other things. And I feel like R. Kelly set himself up. Anytime you're recording your own crimes, you're setting yourself up. And on top of that, you should not have been doing that as a grown man to, children. And basically he was dealing with young boys and girls and grown women. He was abusing, and he videoed all of these crimes. And it's like, how are you going to cry? This isn't fair. And then he fired his legal team right before his federal case started. So you set yourself up for failure, sir, if you thought that you were going to win a federal case. And he had two witnesses, I believe, and it was outrageous. He had two witnesses, and one guy was a rapper, and he wanted to play his rap music in the middle of a federal case. And the other guy, I believe, worked. No, he was working for R. Kelly, but he was a off-duty police officer, and they found a lot of dirt on him, and I believe he got fired from the police department. So those were his two witnesses, and his followers thought that he was going to win a federal case. I don't think so.
Right. No.
I don't think so.
It's
Absolutely.
also because I only also just watched the documentary, so that's where I got a lot of my information. And I wasn't too privy to the everything with little girls and boys. That's a lot, that's a lot to dive into. But I'm happy that he was convicted of this. So now everyone can hopefully get a form of justice. The beginning of that.
Absolutely. And they even brought out the documentation about Aaliyah, because for years it's been speculated that he married Aaliyah. Well, the man that actually married them, the minister, he appeared in court as well. So he testified that it was absolutely true. And there was a girl that was in the documentary, Javante Cunningham, that also had confirmed that she saw R. Kelly molesting Aaliyah on their tour bus. And they tried to say she was lying. Well, turns out she was telling the truth as well. So everything that this man has been doing for 30 years is finally catching up to him. I don't feel sorry for him, but I still listen to his music. He's a musical genius. I love his music, but I don't support any type of abuse whatsoever. So, whatever happens, it happens. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I agree. Yeah, everything you said, and yeah, when it comes to his music, I feel like someone's music doesn't determine who they are. Like your music that's just a form of entertainment. That's your talent. That's what you're giving to the world. But you as a person, I'm good off that one. But his music is really good. So you can't even deny that. If you deny his music and say that, you're just a hater.
Absolutely. Well, everyone says, well, he's a musical genius and that we're picking on him every time it's a black man, that his legacy is being destroyed. But whenever it's someone that's of another race, even though they get convicted, they don't destroy their legacy. What do you guys think of that?
I feel like that's
someone who you would say did a really malicious crime and but still hasn't tainted their legacy.
Right. For instance, Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. Okay, they've taken down R. Kelly's music on the streaming platforms. Therefore, he is unable to attain any money. Remember, he still has kids, and they are adults, etc. But he has a wife. He has to still pay in reference to the kids. I guess it's back child support. I mean, and Bill Cosby, for instance, with him. It didn't just affect him for them to take his income. It was also affecting the other members of the Cosby Show that was on there, because they were getting residuals, and they yanked all of that away from them as well. They didn't commit the crime. He kind of did, I guess, So I'm hearing a lot of people angry about that. They're saying, well, every time it's a black man, they're taking away everything that he worked so hard for because he committed a crime. But other races, that doesn't seem to happen to them. They still have a legacy. A lot of people are throwing in people like Elvis Presley. He married Priscilla Presley. She was originally, I believe, 13, and then she moved in with him at 14 years old. And from what I remember seeing, she came all the way from Germany, from what I remember. And don't quote me on that, though. But she was a child, and she was with this grown man. And there's several celebrities, old school celebrities, that had children that they were married to, dating, impregnated, etc. And their legacy still exists. So a lot of the black community is really angry, and they're saying, well, this isn't fair. They're taking down all of R. Kelly music everywhere, and his videos, you name it. So they're totally destroying his legacy because he committed crimes. So I was just wondering what you guys thought about that. Do you think that's fair, or should that stand as, well, you do the crime, you do the time, and too bad?
Yeah, life isn't fair, but if you do a crime, you can't expect for your legacy to just live on. when you've done so bad. Like I don't think it determines on, oh, if you're this color, is the person. I mean, of course we know Black people have it, harder than others. Everybody knows that. They should know that. So when it comes down to, I think it's just all on reality. Life is not fair. So you can't compare this and this. People just take how they take it. So when it comes to R. Kelly, it's just, he's disturbing. Just because, and Cosby too. But I can't speak for the world, personally don't think there's a fair in that situation. It's just bad and good. You did this, you did, consequences.
I think I feel a little different about it. I feel that his legacy shouldn't be destroyed. I mean, his music and his career is one thing, but what he did as a crime is another thing. And I think that what they should do is this. They should take that money that comes from the music and anything else that comes in, give it to his ex-wife, give it to his kids, give it to the victims, the ones that basically can prove themselves, give it to them. They should be the ones to benefit from that. Because, and I think what's going to happen is later on down the line, they're going to have civil lawsuits that are going to come about where they're going to go after money. And also, speaking of Bill Cosby, just to let you know, one of his accusers has come out recently and said that he also raped her. So she's trying to bring a case out by herself. So Bill Cosby, he chimed in on the R. Kelly situation and said he feels like R. Kelly was railroaded. I really think that Bill Cosby should have kept his lips zipped, because now he's back in trouble again.
Okay, well, we did get off topic just a little bit, so we're gonna just drill this back and let's talk about some Angelina Jolie and her uneven hair extension.
I didn't see these extensions.
Big one. Did you see them?
I did not, but I kind of saw the tagline on it, and how did they look? Who saw them?
So her hair is about this long. The extensions are about this long, and her hair stops here. It's literally like all in the bottom. It looks like it was like all the extensions at the bottom, all just her hair at the top. So it's like this stops and then hair.
I feel so bad.
Just to give you like a visual. I do too. I was like, that's embarrassing.
It's clearly, maybe someone with just a little inexperience, maybe trying something out for their first time. Like, who knows? Because since hair extensions have been out for too long, really down to
maybe they were clip-ins. You think maybe they were clip-ins and maybe she did it herself?
But but they're like literally like, if you had to see the picture. You had to see the picture. It was just like put in, like almost as if it was just put in, and then her hair covered the top.
Exactly. I feel like there's no excuse. I feel so terrible.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Especially just being that your name being so big,
right?
For your hairstylist to do that, or for you to go and have your hair to look like that. It's like, did an amateur? Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like it is. It just looks like that. I'm like, whew. But I love her. But that was a moment.
Yeah. I think her name is definitely too big to have mistakes like that. Because she's Angelina Jolie. She's not like random actress that nobody knows and, okay, you have a bad hair day. There is no reason. When you're a celebrity, I feel like there's no reason for you to have a bad anything day. I mean, you have people surrounding you. You have makeup people. And if someone goofs your hair up that bad, they're fired. I would fire them in a heartbeat. Like, you're out of here. I've heard that happen a few times, like K. Michelle and Cardi B. But with that being said, I got to see these extensions so I can see what you guys are talking about.
Yes, you do. But I agree with you. Like you said, you have all these people around you. Somebody could have told her. But,
yes.
Hello. I was going to...
That was an interesting one.
That made me think...
What event?
What event?
What event was she going to?
Ooh.
Yes.
I don't even remember. I don't remember.
Was it an award show or something like that she was going to, or she just happened to be out and about?
No, it was an actual event, like red carpet type of thing too. I can't remember where it said she was going. where she was at.
I did see
I
a
have to go
picture,
back
a
and look at
photo of
that.
her and her kids, and I think it did look like something that was nice because her kids were all dressed up as well, and they were talking about her daughter previously wearing her dress or something like that. But it looked like they were going to something. It looked like a red carpet event to me, possibly. I don't
It
know,
was
but
Eternal's
either
red
way,
carpet.
Eternals. What is Eternals? Is it a award show?
Etna? Yeah,
Red
I don't
carpet.
know.
I have to ask,
Alright.
can y'all hear me okay?
Oh, it's a movie.
Yes,
It's
I
a movie.
can.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Eternals movie. Yes.
it's a
Okay.
movie.
Familiar.
Hmm.
I would love to go
Okay.
to a carpet event.
Oh, it's a new Marvel movie. I love Marvel. I have to go see the
I
Oh,
would
movie for that.
Marvel will also continue with their Disney Plus and see if I can get that Eternals movie early on if you have
Right.
subscription.
what is this movie about? Is she a superhero in the movie? Is Angelina a superhero, or does anyone know
I
what
have
the
no
movie is about?
idea. No, I honestly didn't know there were the comments was telling us that it was a movie that it was the red carpet event for the movie.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'll have to check it out, definitely. It's weird. I'm not really a big movie fan, but I will step in and watch a movie here and there. There's this new other movie coming out. I believe it's Marvel. It has Zoe Kravitz in it, and I believe she is it Bat Girl, Batwoman? I forgot which
Oh,
one. But
interesting.
Catwoman? The same one that Halle Berry played. Is that
Catwoman.
Catwoman?
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
Yeah, I believe Zoe's playing Catwoman, and let me tell you, she is the perfect pick. She has that look. Zoe has the
Hey,
body. It was
Okay.
Batman. It was Batman, and she plays Catwoman. I think that's what she would be
Batwoman.
called. But anyway, she did that. I love Zoe Kravitz. She's one of my
Yeah,
favorite actresses.
really.
Absolutely, and I'm telling you, if she got her mom and her dad's genetics. Ugh, she's gorgeous.
Most
Gorgeous.
definitely.
A
I
great
love
blend.
Zoe.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely. So she
That's
is
exciting.
wonderful.
And you said
You
that
know
movie's
who?
called Catwoman?
Batman, I believe, coming out. It's Batman, but she's in the movie as I want to say Catwoman. I am not a real big Marvel fan, so I think it's Catwoman.
Mhm.
Whoever Halle Berry played all black, she's playing
Yeah.
now, I believe. And I saw a clip of it, and I was
Interesting.
mesmerized. And it's very rare that any movie mesmerized me at all because I'm not a big movie fan. You know, a lot of these movies these days I'm not impressed by. I don't think I've seen one yet that I really, really wanted to see. I haven't seen anything come out lately that's even, Coming to America. I don't feel like they did the job. I think
I
you agree?
agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
What do you
I
think?
love the first one. The first one was amazing, and that's why I was excited for the second one. But I was disappointed a little bit.
I was too
Absolutely.
when I watched it, but then the second time I watched it, I was like, I could appreciate it a bit more. But the first time I was like just a bit underwhelmed, and I was I don't know, but it's because it looks so great. I mean, it looks
Yeah.
like really great videography for the most part, and just great clothing as well. But I was kind of just the first time, but I could appreciate it a little bit more the second time. What were y'all's thoughts on it?
Okay. Maybe I have to watch it again to get it.
I
'Cause
don't
I don't
know.
know.
I mean,
Maybe I think
they
maybe I was
just they
just
didn't
like
bring them.
I don't know. Like I don't know what it
Mm-mm.
was. It was just something that just didn't catch my interest like the first one did. The first one was just like it was funny. It was like not raw, but it was just like real. It felt like realistic. Like okay, when you go to New York from Africa, it felt like. But this one seemed forced because it's a sequel. Like trying to connect it all, trying to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was. I think for me, I think that's all it was.
What
I
about for
What
you?
felt
about you,
more. You know
Chloe?
what? They messed up the legacy of the film. I'm sorry. That first film was phenomenal. This second one, it was like they called up a bunch of celebrities that they knew and said, "Do you want to be in the movie? Here's a costume." It wasn't really a story. The storyline was real, just flimsy. It was
Basic.
like, ugh. It was very basic. And Tiana Taylor, I love her too. And she is one of those people, when you see her on camera, she just pops. They could have done more with her character. It should have been more of a storyline between her and the prince. And they just kind of jumped right into the story. Oh yeah, I want to marry your son. And it just, it fell short. And it drives me crazy because I'm a writer, but I'm a writer that hasn't done much with my writing. But I'm a writer to my heart. I'm really a writer. And when I see these movies and the storylines that fail, it makes me scream and it makes me say, I need to get out there and put my writing out, because I love I like characters that are developed. And when you don't develop your characters, I just want to cry, because there's so much that could have been done with that movie, and they should have just left it on the shelf. They truly should have. And I don't know. I watched it and I was just like, no. And I've heard you guys are coming out with The Color Purple.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And I'm scared.
I'm scared. I was just about to say that. I'm scared for that. No.
Yeah. I don't know who's,
because the original movie was so good to the point, and it won 0 awards. Did you guys know that?
I did
no
not know
awards
that.
for The Color Purple. The very back then, oh my gosh, I had to close my eyes on that one. They shaded them so bad. They gave them 0 awards, and I don't recall them winning anything. And that was the best movie. Everybody to this day
that was a really good
line
movie
from The Color Purple. Yeah, and it's like, so you're trying to bring out something new. They better bring it. Because if they don't, I'm done.
Definitely.
We're always trying to revamp us with modern actresses and actors and just modern look, right? But I feel like we're always copying everything from the past, Coming to America 2, The Color Purple coming out. And so it's interesting. It's going to be interesting. I hope it works out. And I wonder if they're going to cast. I'm
a little scared.
I haven't heard anything about a cast just yet. I think Oprah is involved, so I'm hoping that Oprah will say, I hope she's tough on them and says, look, we're not just going to let anybody get in here. I want to see some real actors and actresses. And also, I would love it if they would start introducing some new actors and actresses that we haven't seen. Because have you noticed, especially on the Black shows, you see the same actors and actresses rotate from show to show. And I would like to see some new talent, some new real talent come out.
Right. Yes.
I agree.
Absolutely. So Color Purple, and you have to pardon me, I'm switching out my earpiece. It decided to die mid-show. Here you go.
What else has happened? Any other news that's caught y'all's eye?
There's a lot. There's so much in the world going on.
I can think
about like a brain fart.
Forget watching it. I think it was actually probably an advertisement, but it was just for Demi Lovato. And, it seems like she's maybe, I think we lost Alicia. It's like she's maybe trying to finally actually get back on the right track. I know the latest entertainment release I've seen of her was Dancing with the Devil. It was like a video on YouTube. I never got the chance to watch it. But, the last I really heard, her last major news was when she had that overdose. But the new ad that she's finally come around, everything's working out for her, and it seems now maybe she's really trying to be another vocal point for people, again, with the mental health awareness and the drug use, and really diving in deep too with like her relationship with her father. I mean, do you know anything, like, have you heard anything more about
I watched her, I did watch her little, I don't know if it was a documentary per se, but yeah, her little documentary, and she was talking about like her history with drugs and all that other stuff, and then that is, and in that documentary, that's when she was talking about, I want to make it, I'm so sorry. she was talking about how she doesn't want to be that anymore. Like it's bad luck. She doesn't feel, So I think that whole advertisement thing that you saw is really like her trying to not switch, but like just turn back to like the positive and the work, focus and put everything into her work. I love her.
Yeah, I really hope she can. That must be so tough, especially like being able to, having to hide such a deep secret like that. So I really commend her and admire her for coming out and being so transparent and wanting to just be that voice for others, because it's not easy, it really is hard. And so I commend her for that. Oh, it's it. What is y'all take on the situation with Dave Chappelle? Oh man. Oh, I lost another partner. Okay, well, the Dave Chappelle situation, I believe it was with some comments on gay or transgender rights. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But okay, perfect. Congratulations. Have you heard with everything with Dave Chappelle? Wasn't it some comments about like gayness or transgender and the LGBT plus community?
I got like little clips of it. I didn't get to watch like the whole thing or anything. But with that situation, he's basically talking about what did he say? Basically, he's not trying to bring down the community or anything. He's just stating a fact that with this community, it's so big. It's in cartoons. It's in everything now. And he was just saying how black people we have been fighting for, our community forever. And he was like, he just made like little jokes of like, well, if we would have had floats and shorts and stuff like that. So I feel like that they took offense to it, as far as him just like trying to bash the community or like be
like clear with like comments.
Like homophobic or I don't personally think he was coming off as that, but I do think that community can be very sensitive sometimes. But yeah, I don't know
what he said, so it's hard for me to really have an opinion on it, because I didn't catch what he said specifically, but even based off your description, it didn't sound like he said anything directly. But it's so hard. Sometimes I feel like I was actually just thinking myself how, our voices, speeches, like it's really being monitored now. And it's like, granted, I definitely agree that you must think before you speak and be intentional with your word. But I also understand that we also have the freedom to think, and that, what I think may not always agree with what you may think, Hey, Alicia, welcome back. We're talking about Dave Chappelle, his recent situation. And I was just sharing how, I feel like there's starting to be a really big, almost, I can't think of the word right now, but like a watchful a censorship, thank you, as there's starting to be like a censor on what people say, and that you're almost not even able to allow to share your free thought or your free opinion, though it may disagree with a lot of folks. And so, though I don't know exactly what Dave Chappelle said, Alicia, I don't know if you know anything, could give us your take. That's all I gotta say. It's like, let's loosen the censorship of freedom of thought, freedom of opinion, and being able to agree to disagree. As long as your opinion doesn't embark on my freedom.
Right.
I definitely have an opinion of it, and you guys can't hear me at all?
No, we can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. I definitely have an opinion on the entire situation with Dave Chappelle. I haven't watched the entire special. I've seen the clips here and there, and I've seen them highlight the actual clip that everyone seems to be upset about. He basically made the same statement that you just made. He was basically saying that, it's interesting that you can violate Black men and Black people in general. You can say and do whatever you want in reference to that, all types of jokes and very derogatory, jokes in reference to the Black community. But when you target your jokes towards the trans community or the LGBT community, that it becomes a real big problem, you know, and he was basically highlighting that. But he also, towards the end, let people know that he had a transgender friend that he gave an opportunity to, because the community, the LGBT community, did not give her an opportunity. In the end, she ended up killing herself, but that had to do with bullying that came from the trans community. And this is information that I heard, and I actually have been watching. I'm always watching live streams and podcasts, etc. And there is a trans woman named Hope Giselle that she's been going around saying, you know, I think he should be removed. They're protesting Dave Chappelle, etc. And she's really upset, saying that it causes violence against the trans community when he makes jokes, etc. I'd like to watch the entire special so I can 100% speak on everything that he said, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. But from the clips that I've heard, I really didn't hear him say anything that I found to be offensive, etc. And I would like to add this: I am part of the LGBT community. Therefore, I personally feel that it's fine to let people know you're offended, but you don't have to come out in an aggressive behavior. You need to pinpoint exactly what was said that made you feel uncomfortable, and what made you, you know, how it made you feel. Because a lot of the trans community, like the Netflix employees, they all have walked out in protest saying, well, he needs to be removed, his show needs to be removed, etc. But Netflix decided, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, because they, first of all, he's a moneymaker, but second of all, you know, I feel like whatever concerns they have are unfounded. They don't agree with what these people are saying. And from the clips that I heard, I don't agree at all. I really don't agree with what they're angry about. I saw another older trans woman. Her name is Flame Monroe. She came on the show with Hope Giselle, and also another trans woman. Her name is Ashley. And what was interesting is Ashley said she was, you know, advocating for the trans community. And I 100% want people to know that I am 100% for the trans community. Definitely. But if it is something that is valid, I'll stand behind you without a problem. But what I'm seeing, I'm not understanding what it is that is really upsetting them, because to me, comedians are comedians. Their job is to make jokes, and they make fun of everybody. I'm a big fan of Dave Chappelle. You know, the Chappelle Show, that was one of my shows. And I've seen Dave make fun of everybody, including himself. And so I'm trying to get a clear understanding of what exactly has upset them to the point where they want his show to be removed. And I agree with what one of you guys was saying, that you know, people are being bullied at this point. I just went on Hope Giselle's wall, as a matter of fact, on Instagram, because they posted a picture of Lil Boozy. I think that's his name.
Right.
I think it's Lil Boozy. But anyway, they posted a picture of him, and the picture is merged with him and Lil Nas X, because Boozy basically said he didn't want any of his children to be gay, etc. And so Hope Giselle just posted something that it was a picture, you know, the picture of Lil Nas X in his pink suit when he went to some award show. Well, they put Boozy's face on it. So they're all on there laughing, and I chimed in and said, well, isn't this bullying? Isn't this the same thing that you're saying that's happening to the trans community? Doesn't this incite violence? And, you know, I did it because I for a moment I was like, oh, you know, it's a little funny. But then I thought, well, wait a minute, this is the same thing that you're saying is happening to your community, and you're promoting the same thing. Black men are being killed at alarming rates as well. So why is it okay for you to do it? And I know it's a joke, and sometimes online we share things that we shouldn't. But I'm saying to myself, Hope Giselle is going on all of these shows saying this is affecting the trans community. There are trans women being killed, which is 100% true. And it's not okay to go and take someone's life because you don't agree with them. But then how are you going to post something that basically what you're doing is you're merging his picture with a gay man, and you think that's funny, and you know that that is offensive to most straight Black men to associate them with a gay man, you know, and they put it up and they were chuckling all the way through. And I'm literally on the post on Instagram, just kind of going back and forth with them about it, because I'm like, wait a minute, what's fair is fair. If it's unfair for someone to make fun of you or, you know, put you in danger, then it's unfair for you to do the same thing. And I saw, you know, a live stream with Flame Monroe, or her name is Monroe Flame, I think it is, or Flame Monroe. Either way, she also came at them. Her and T.S. Madison is another trans woman, and Flame basically told them, "You guys need to pipe down with that. You need to learn to listen," because they were angry, saying no one brings us to the table to stand up for trans rights. They don't bring us on their shows, etc. And they told them, basically, you guys have to calm down. You can't yell and scream your way into any type of positive situation to discuss the issues.
Mhm.
I get so much. I feel like it's interesting. I was really just thinking myself, comedic jokes. It's so funny, and sometimes we're able to find the humor in everything, even with a picture of Lil Boozy and his face on Lil Nas X. You're able to find the humor in it, but there's also the instance of you're gonna offend people as well. People are always going to find offense with everything because feelings are delicate, and we all have different ranges of what affects us and what doesn't. Um,
Right.
so I feel like back when you were earlier saying with Dave Chappelle, when in discussions of race, that made me think of George Lopez and how it maybe a few years back, a couple or so years back, or even maybe still now more recently, he's still with doing on stage comedy, but he also talks about like race and everything and cracks jokes on the Black community. And I remember he had like a fan talking with them about that, like hassling, and they got kicked out the show because they're like, "Oh, it's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke." And so that made me think when you were saying with Dave Chappelle, like, oh, like racism and race is always discussed, and we always joke about that, but no one goes, up in arms. Whereas, we speak on the LGBT plus trans community, and they'll come at you and try to get you fired. Um, and so it's just a lot. It's like, where can we find humor in things? Are we able to just make with people? Are we gonna, defend every group of people they come after? Asians, um, Black people, white people, LGBT plus community. Is it just like we're no longer getting fun of people, which is kind of cool. Like we shouldn't make fun of people, but at the same time, are we also able to find humor in our flaws? And not and just like see things with a different lens. Don't cancel me, bro, someone says. So it's definitely interesting, and I think that at the same time agreeing with Dave Chappelle in terms of speaking up for race too, because um, especially in today's climate and 2020, everything was 2020. Is it still cool to crack Black jokes? Like, is that really funny? Is that what we're still doing to make the room laugh? But no one is really trying to fire anyone for making Black jokes about the Black community, because I don't know if people are just finding humor in it because sometimes, hey, stuff is funny, or if it's just not a big deal. That's what I
Right.
want to. But it's
Well, it's
interesting.
always.
Just the freedom of opinion. And the last thing I do want to say is in terms of with the trans community, I also thought of that not from the trans perspective, but with Black women. I was watching Wild 'N Out and a few of the people on there from a few years back, and I was just like, I feel like this is why. Is this where it comes from? A Black woman always being the butt of the joke? Is it because we have even our Black men coming at us and making fun of us for comedic
Mhm.
relief? And so other people are going to think it's okay to make the same jokes, and other people are going to judge us based off those jokes and come at us, and make fun of us as Black women because they're seeing this demonstrated from our own Black men. And so it also brought a different perspective for myself in terms of, oh man, like that doesn't feel good, and I
Mhm.
see where it can promote violence, as you're saying. Another trans community member said, it promotes violence. These jokes, same thing with Black jokes, Asian jokes, whatever jokes that are offensive to any community. So there is a lot to think about it, and a lot that a lot of perspectives that are in that. So those are mine.
True. There is. I
So
think with
I
that
any
don't feel that a
community,
joke promotes violence, though. I just don't think it promotes violence unless this person is 100% saying go and hurt these people and kill these people, etc. A lot of people take that to the extreme. For instance, if you think of the comedian Paul Mooney, I went to see Paul Mooney, and Paul
Yeah.
Mooney used to be a writer for Dave Chappelle. Paul Mooney's stand-up was so offensive, I felt like leaving because he was really like, he just didn't care. He just said what he wanted to say, and it was what was coming from his heart. But it, to me, his comedy wasn't comedy at all. He was just standing there speaking his truth. But I feel like comedy is about laughing and having a good time, etc. And yes, we tend to always be the butt of the joke. As a matter of fact, we're the butt of everything, it seems like, but we are, as I've said before, we're the most imitated. You go on TikTok, you see the TikTok dances. People are taking from us. We have all of the Kardashians. I love the Kardashians, but every single one of them have done what? They're blackfishing. They just got Kylie Jenner in reference to that. Do you guys know what blackfishing is?
Oh my, that's such a big deal now, right? With all the social media influencers, and even it's a big deal, blackfishing. It's, and I feel like it's such a big deal now that people are almost starting to make light of it. And, I feel like it was a real issue. Like, people were literally darkening their skin so that they looked black. But now I feel like sometimes people are making light of it to the point where it's like you get the slightest tan, you're going to get called for blackfishing. And I'm like, you guys, you're blocking the real awareness of people who are really trying to come up.
Because you don't know when someone's blackfishing. You know when someone's blackfishing.
Exactly.
Sometimes,
like, it's very noticeable.
They've caught some that were like you didn't even know, and you were like, wow. But they got Kylie. Recently, they were saying that, like, I saw a picture of her, and apparently she made herself really dark, lips really big. And I don't know if you guys have seen Kylie without her makeup, but I actually saw during the pandemic, somebody caught her on camera with their phone. And Kylie's skin color, she is very white. And when you see her, she's very tan, huge lips. She looks like a replica of Kim, pretty much. And so I can understand why people get upset, because how would they look how would they feel if we went around putting on makeup like the girls from, what was the name of that movie? With the Wayans brothers. If we all were wearing super white makeup, and putting on blonde hair, and walking around like that and doing videos and stuff, would the white community be outraged if we did that? If we did whiteface or whitefish?
Well, going to this question, someone asked, what is blackfishing? So blackfishing is basically when you try to be or portray yourself as a black woman or man or person, and you're not that if you're a different race. But as far as that whole situation, I don't necessarily agree with the whole being offended by it, or not necessarily don't be offended. Let me watch my words. But as far as if you take offense to it, I think that's just a personal thing, because if you look at, like you said, they are trying to portray something. Obviously, don't be someone else you're not, right? But when it goes to blackfishing, you can notice it. Like, if you're trying to be funny with it, you're trying to exaggerate it and try to insult black people, then that's offensive. But I look at it as, we are a trend. Black people in general, as a community, we are a trend. No matter how much they hate us or, don't like us, without us, half this stuff would not be popping, like lashes, nails, everything like that. Like, black people are a trend. So I feel as though I don't take it offensive. When I look at it, I'm like, oh, I'm not offended by it. But it's just, okay, you want to look like us, be like us, but you need to respect us as well. When it comes down to that, it just goes deeper for me. I'm like, okay, you can do what you want to do, because personally, I'm not in no one else's business. You want to act like that? You can do. That's how you look. That's you. But when it only offends me when it starts to be offensive, as in like intentionally offensive. Like on TikTok, so what was it? It was like it was crap. So many TikTok videos. What'd you say?
Addison Rae, I know she's big.
Like that, like what? Okay, so when it comes down to that, like, okay, I don't like that whole trying to be someone else, but making it into a joke. Like, you're intentionally saying, oh, I'm this person, and then making it into a joke. Because that's, you're attacking them in a way, bullying them. But when it's like, oh, this girl's blackfishing because, oh, she got a tan. You can't really I feel like offense, you only take offense when it's offending. you, right? Offense.
Right.
I'm not offended by it. It's not me personally, but I think it all comes down to personal perspective, like the way you look at the situation. If you look at it in an offensive way or a negative way, you're gonna get that. You know what I mean? But if you look at it like, okay, that's them, that's person. Because if you wanted to paint your face white, you could do that. You get me?
But
Yeah.
you know what? It's deeper though. It's deeper than that because the issue that I've heard people talking about is not just the fact that they're looking like a black person and portraying themselves as something other than what they are. That's fine. You can look however you want. Problem is they're making money off of this. See, we are walking around not getting paid for looking what we look, looking how we look. But yet a lot of these TikTokers are taking the dances of black people and making tons of money off of it. They're taking our
Recognition
looks
not being recognized.
and
Yeah.
they're getting all the recognition. Like the
Yeah.
Kardashians are injecting their
yes.
lips and buying butts and things like that. Things that we were teased for growing up. They're taking these things and making money off of them. They're getting offered all types of deals and everything else. But yet we are having to always change ourselves in order to fit in. I mean, like I said to you guys previously, I'm a model and I have to deal with things behind the scenes that are racially, I shouldn't say racially motivated, but it's something that we have to deal with. Things like our hair, natural hair. Several
Right.
other I'm one of the models on Home Shopping Network. And there are times when I'm on there or on other shoots where you have to worry about your hair all the time. I have a friend of mine who's a model and she has beautiful big curls in her hair. And she came to a set and they asked her, so what are you going to do with your hair? And she's like,
Right.
what do you mean? We have a lot of issues behind the scenes that we have to deal with, and being black people, when we show up on a set, when I show up on a set, a majority of the set, I'm going to say about 98% of the set, 99% of the set, all white people. The stylists are white, the makeup artists are white, and in many cases, if your hair is not bone straight, they don't know what to do with your hair. Maybe a little wave in it, they don't know what to do with your hair. So why can't black women wear their natural hair, etc., or braids, etc.? They won't cast you a lot of times with braids or your natural hair unless it's an actual company that is demanding natural hair. And so, and usually, for instance, companies like Carol's Daughter, they do natural hair and they have stylists that are able to do it. But it becomes a really stressful thing. And I just saw a video the other day. It was a model that was doing New York Fashion Week, black model. And she said the problems of being a model during New York Fashion Week. She had someone that did her makeup that did not know how. She had someone do her hair. It looked a mess. And these are the things we're going into 2022, and you're telling me that you can't hire makeup artists and stylists that know how to do all hair. I'm not saying they necessarily have to be black, but hire someone that knows how to do black hair of all types.
People.
Because it makes no sense that black women have to do things like they have to get hair extensions a lot of times because you have people that have no clue of how to do your hair. And in some cases, they won't even pick you. They won't choose you because they're like, we don't know what to do with our hair. Or we don't know how to do our makeup. And you see the looks and stares when you're on the set. I've had minor things happen where I'm sitting there and, I have very oily skin, as you guys can see. Plus, I have a light in my face. But when I'm under all of those lights, my face is very shiny. So I'm always having to put powder. Well, they had powder. I had forgotten my powder. And they're putting this white powder on my face. So imagine flour on my face. They're confused about what to do. They don't know. And I told them, look, I know how to do it. Now you have a makeup artist there. Why is it that it's not required that your makeup artists know how to do all skin tones? And I actually met one makeup artist that said, she was a white makeup artist and she was younger. And she said, I'm studying under a black woman because I want to know how to do black people's makeup, Latinas, etc. And understand, how that works because I see the disproportion, in reference to the makeup artist. And it's very intimidating. It's very frustrating when you show up on the set and I have to carry huge bags full of stuff to make sure that they have something that will match my skin tone, etc. And you also have to learn how to do your own makeup. I do my own makeup in many, many situations because they don't have anyone there that can do it for me. So that, with the blackfishing thing, it goes deeper because, these people are pretending to be this person for monetary gain. And one other person, I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a lady from, I want to say Germany. Her name is Elena or Helena. And she went and took some injections to make her skin turn dark. And I mean dark. And she got these implants that are so huge, they look like watermelons. She went and got a wig and everything else. And there are people that are still masquerading because it's something that's an advantage for them as Black people. What about the lady that I forgot what her name was? Remember the lady they found out she was working for the NAACP and she was a teacher? Turns out she was white and she was pretending to be Black.
Oh,
I
wow.
forgot. She was out several years ago and they caught her. And also, there's a guy named Sean King that I noticed that a lot of Black people are always listening to what Sean King has to say. And I will say this, Sean King is a white man. He is 100% a white man. His parents have come out and stated he was born a white child. And his ex-girlfriend said 100% Sean King is a white man, but he's always advocating for the Black community. And what I found out about Sean King, from what I've heard, he went to college. To get a scholarship, he masqueraded himself as a Black man, and he's been pulling it off ever since. Wow. So that's blackfishing, and that's not fair because we don't get the same advantages. When we walk around, we have a lot of other stresses and discrimination and things that happen to us because we can't take this color off. We have to wear this day in and day out. We have to suffer, just walking out our door, we could be killed. And so that's why I don't find blackfishing to be funny or cute. When you are getting monetary gain off of it and you can take it off whenever you want to, when it's a advantage for you to be whatever other race, then I have a real problem with that because I can't remove it when I want to or if I want to.
Amen to that. And
I think being a Black woman, I personally wouldn't want to change myself. So that's why I feel like when it comes down to blackfishing and actual just racism or not trying, like you said, when you're at your sets, I don't think that's really, it's the blackfish. I think it's just as far as that industry, not, what is it? I'm looking for the right word. I don't know why this is like making my brain just not work today. Maybe because I'm on camera. But I feel like it comes down to either it's just society. Black people are not necessarily accepted you know what I mean? And not like white people. White people are everywhere. Caucasians are everywhere. So that's what was on TV before Black people went on TV. So we just need to make a change and try to start making differences when we're in those situations. As a model, that industry is not where it needs to be yet, but we can work towards that. But as far as saying it's not fair that they're not making money, it's not fair it's not fair. But saying things are not fair is not going to change anything,
No, it's not. But you also have to become the powers that be. See, the thing is, when I am chosen to go on the air, I'm chosen by people behind the scenes. The majority of these casting directors, etc., these are not African American people. These are not people of other races. As a matter of fact, I mostly see white faces. Every once in a while, like for instance, I have one agent that is African American. The rest of my agents are all white. So in order to make that change, we have to be the powers that be. We have to, for instance, when Will and Jada stepped up and said, Oscar's so white, things changed behind the scenes. When you saw the new board for the Oscars, it was all types of different races, when for years it was all white, older white people that were making the decisions. Well, these are the things that have to be changed behind the scenes. The powers that be have to be changed because we now are in a world where our children are all mixed, pretty much. A majority of the children, a lot of my nieces and nephews are mixed race. Therefore, we have to change this world. It can't be, only white people and only their look is okay. You just can't say that is the only beauty standard, because there are so many other races, not just Black people. There are many other races, mixed races that are beautiful, and they should be highlighted. Even when I see these Disney princesses, it drives me crazy that they're not represented. They're not representing everybody. They're trying now a little bit here and there, but the change is not moving quick enough because we are not the powers that be. And the only way we can change that is to be the boss, the one behind the scenes. And we have the Tyler Perrys, Yeah, we have the Tyler Perrys, which someone needs to help
Totally
him with
agree.
his wigs. But what is her name is Ava DuVernay. We have some major people behind the scenes, but the ones that are providing that money to them in many cases, they're the ones that are the powers that be. Now Tyler Perry, hey, he did his thing. He built an entire complex in Atlanta, so pretty much he's his own boss. But these are the things that we have to do when we get in positions where we can be in a position of power. When we get that money, stop being the rapper and the baller that decides to buy a million cars and all this gold jewelry, and actually invest that money in something that's going to help your
In the
community.
industries we're in. Yes, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. It just has to be. It's a change. It needs to be a change
I
in
agree.
a lot of different aspects.
Well, ladies,
But
do
yeah, she said the same.
that's time to say goodnight. It was wonderful chatting with
It was
both
a
of you,
great show.
and this was a great experience. I hope to
It was
maybe
absolutely great.
please everyone keep up with me on Instagram at It's Gabriella's Time. This is Gabby, and I'll see you all again later. Have a blessed
Bye.
Wait a
night.
minute before you go, Gabby.
Yeah,
We all
yeah.
have to put out our Instagrams as well. I'm on Instagram as well as Allie Oops 2017. That's ALEEOOPS 2017. And also check out my documentary that's coming out about Pulse Nightclub. Go to pulsedocumentary.com. I'm the host and the narrator of the story, so it'll be coming out really soon. I don't know on which network, but we have a few that are kind of in the works. So make sure you check me out.
Nice to hear that. Okay, well, it's been nice talking to you guys. My Instagram is queen.lay, 3 E's. And I have my Patreon account actually, and it's going to be Queen Lay as well, connected right there down below. So just, yeah, add me, watch me, talk to me.
Absolutely.
That was wonderful.
Okay,
I'm on Patreon
bye.
as well.
Definitely,
I'm definitely on
checking out-
Patreon. It's Allie Oops 2017. So you guys have a good night. It was a great show, and I'll see you guys again next
Great
week.
show.
You
See you
too,
next
Leisha.
week.
Bye, girls. Great
Bye.
review.